Welcome to Cliff Notes, the podcast where business meets inspiration and strategy meets balance. I'm Brandon Clifford, CEO of Business Alliance Inc., entrepreneur, investor, and your guide through the world of business, franchising, and leadership. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur, an inspiring franchisee, or just someone looking for actionable advice to take your career to the next level, Cliff Notes is here for you. Join me as we break down the complexities of business and life into bite-sized, actionable insights. This is Cliff Notes, your shortcut to success.
Welcome back to another episode of Cliff Notes, the podcast where we give you short, actionable insights to help you grow in business, leadership, and in life. I'm your host, Brandon Clifford, and today we're diving into the virtue of prudence and how to practice it daily in a world that pushes you to act fast, speak first, and chase what's urgent instead of what's right. But first, let's look at why we sometimes act without prudence. Let's face it, the business world rarely rewards patience. We're always hearing things like, if you don't take this deal, someone else will, or we can fix it later. Let's just launch this product right now. Make the call. Just don't freeze. But here's the problem. Haste is not the same as leadership. Some of the worst decisions that you and I will ever make will come out of when we act out of fear, fatigue, or ego, rather than acting from a prayerful, principled, or with clarity. Prudence is what creates the space to respond instead of react. So what is prudence? The Catechism of the Catholic Church teaches us that prudence is the right reason in action. And that means that it's not just about thinking correctly, but also about translating those thoughts into virtuous actions. It helps us understand how to apply general moral principles to particular situations, guiding us to choose what is good and avoid what is evil. Prudence is distinct from timidity. It's distinct from fear or excessive caution. It's about making well-informed decisions, not avoiding all the risks. Prudence is oftentimes it's displayed as it's considered the charioteer of virtues, that image of someone driving a chariot with all the virtues as the horse is leading the chariot, right? And it's because prudence is what directs and guides all the other virtues, ensuring that they're properly applied. And it's crucial for forming your conscience, right? It immediately guides your judgments about what's right and what's wrong. So put in simpler terms, to box this up, prudence helps us to think carefully, consider the consequences, and make the best choices based on our faith and moral principles. It's the virtue that's going to help you discern what is good, decide how to pursue it, and then act at the right time and in the right way. So it's not cowardice at all. It's not indecision. It's actually clarity. That's what prudence is. So let's look at a few examples, business leaders, and how they've put prudence into action, even when maybe on the surface it looked like it was going to cost them. And we're going to start with Chick-fil-A, an example I've used quite a bit on this podcast. Truett Cathy is a great example of prudence. He made a decision early on, the founder of Chick-fil-A, to close all his restaurants on Sundays. From a pure business perspective, that could seem foolish, especially in the fast food world, where weekends, they're often the busiest time of the week, right? But Cathy's decision wasn't rash. It was a prudent choice based on his values, his faith, and his vision for creating a company that prioritized people over profit. And over time, that decision has become part of the company's identity. It's built loyalty with employees and set the tone for how Chick-fil-A operates. So it's not just conviction, it's discerned conviction, and that's prudence. Next, we're going to look at Alan Mulally, right? He's from the former CEO of Ford, right? In 2008, Ford was offered a federal bailout alongside GM and Chrysler, but he and the CEO and the Ford's board of directors had already made prudent financial decisions earlier. They took out a massive line of credit when the economy was strong, even though they didn't need it. That foresight gave them the option to decline the bailout and avoid government oversight. So Ford still struggled during the economic crisis of 2008. Who didn't, right? But the company survived without selling out any of its principles or decision-making authority. So that wasn't luck. That was prudent. It was prudence in action. They were planning ahead, and then they were able to resist panic and stay aligned with their mission. Next, let's look at Pat Gelsinger of Intel, which is formerly VMware. So Pat is a committed Christian, a seasoned tech executive. He often talks about how he builds space into his schedule for reflection and prayer before making any key decisions. At VMware, he was known for being very calm and methodical, someone who didn't rush into any conclusions, but he always listened, always asked great questions, and acted at the right time. So it's no surprise that under his leadership, the company grew significantly, and people trusted him deeply. His prudence made him a stable and ethical presence in an industry that often rewards flash over substance. So let's bring this back to you in your daily leadership. How can you grow in prudence, right? I know you're not all running a global company, but you do need to lead with wisdom. You need daily habits that can invite the Holy Spirit into your decisions. So here are three things that work, right? First of all, you're gonna practice what's called a daily examine. At the end of every single day, you should ask yourself just a few questions. Take a moment and reflect and say, okay, where did I lead today? Where did I act from fear or impulse? And when would have been a good time for me to pause instead of answer? Maybe it was during a meeting. Maybe it was responding to an email. Where were those times where I probably should have paused a moment longer? So recognizing those three things, that's going to help you build awareness and grow in discernment. Number two is to seek counsel. Prudence isn't formed in isolation. You need to have 2 or 3 trusted voices in your life, mentors, business partners, spiritual directors, who will tell you the truth, even when it's inconvenient, right? Proverbs 15:22 says, without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed. And number 3, just slow down before you make any major moves, any major decisions. If you ever feel rushed, ask yourself, is this the right move or just the fast one? What would I regret not doing in 6 months? Like, how does this impact my life 6 months from now? If I do this, what was life like 6 months ago before this decision came to me? Just take a step back. Sometimes the most powerful thing a leader can do is wait. All right, so let's wrap this up here. Just to get some final thoughts. Prudence, of course, it doesn't always make headlines. It doesn't impress people in the short term. Quite honestly, most of the time people don't even realize that you're practicing it. But over time, prudence is the foundation for leadership that lasts. And when you build your business with prudence, you won't have any regret. You're going to grow in peace, purpose, and profit. And you're going to build the kind of trust that can't be bought. All right. Thank you so much for joining me on Cliff Notes today. That's the note. If this episode helped you, send it to someone you respect, or someone your mentor, or someone you want to be your mentor, or someone you're mentoring yourself, right? Or even just someone who maybe you think in your life is facing a big decision right now that needs to hear about a little bit of prudence, right? So until then, keep going. Try to lead with love and purpose.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Business Alliance Insights. I hope you're walking away with some valuable insights to help grow and strengthen your business. If you're looking to connect with other business leaders, franchisors, franchisees, brokers, or even just looking to explore more tools to scale your business, be sure to get connected to our BAI network and check out FranLink, our exclusive social media platform built solely for our members. You can learn more about it and everything Business Alliance Inc. has to offer by visiting businessallianceinc.com. Again, that's businessallianceinc.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other business leaders who are ready to take their businesses, their brands to the next level.